Welcome, welcome. Good afternoon, everyone. Now, how long have we waited for this day? By a round of applause. All right. I think a little longer than that, but I will hold you to that. Good morning. My name is Nicole Kober. I am a principal managing partner of Kober, Johnson, and Romney, and I would like to welcome you all to this amazing event. We are celebrating the groundbreaking ceremony for the town square at Suitland Federal Center. My firm, Kober, Johnson, Romney, helped lead the build-out team for this monumental project. So before we get started, and in true fashion, I want to make sure that I give proper shout-outs to people that are especially important in our community, okay? I want to say welcome to Councilwoman Danielle Glaros, former State Senator Gloria Lala, former U.S. Congressional Representative Donna Edwards, State Delegate Derek Davis, Barry Stanton, who is the Deputy Chief Administrative Officer for the Public Infrastructure. Thank you, Barry. County Councilwoman Andrea Harrison, Chief of Staff Glenda Wilson, Ashley Sharp, who is representing Congressman Anthony Brown. And finally, Paul Rowe, who is the chairman of the board for Prince George's Housing Authority. Thank you all so much for attending. So many people, organizations, and businesses have come together to make this project a reality. So we should start by recognizing a couple of people who have made us get to this point. And they're here with you on the stage here. Thank you to County Executive Rushern Baker for your vision and for believing so heartily in this project. I want to thank the people of Suitland who have been out with me this morning and in spirit all around for supporting the development of this project. I'd also like to thank the Redevelopment Authority for spearheading this project and for your hard work with keeping it moving forward, and the amazing power players on the development team who will bring this project to life for you all. So as you well know, this day has been more than 20 years in the making. There were many obstacles along the way, but now that we have assembled the right team, we are finally ready to realize this vision. The town square will be a vibrant, mixed-use, transit-oriented development that will re-energize and redefine the Suitland Federal Center area. This influx of business and community will be just the beginning of development and positive change in Suitland. We will have a number of honored individuals on this stage this morning to mark this historic occasion. And getting us kicked off today is our first speaker, Mr. Eric Brown, who is the director of the Prince George's County Department of Housing and Community Development. Mr. Brown and his team work tirelessly to provide rental assistance, home ownership assistance, affordable housing, and community development services to citizens in order to improve the quality of life for the citizens of Prince George's County. The town square is one more way that Mr. Brown's department is helping provide public services, facilities, infrastructure, and employment opportunities for the county residents. You all help me welcome Mr. Eric Brown.
Good morning. It is my pleasure to be here to help realize this dream, but the real credit goes to all of the people of this community and the wonderful team and partnership that was formed to realize this dream. I can't take any or all of the credit for this. The real credit goes to, a lot of this credit goes to Howard Ways, who led this effort, and the redevelopment team that did this. So I thank them for their efforts. All I did was sort of help guide and get out of the way when it was necessary, which is most of the time. But the main thing is that partnership. Partnership is what made this dream come alive. That's a partnership between the community, the developer, the county executive, and his whole team. So it made this all possible. This is a journey that, as many of you know, began many years ago. This journey is not ended, it is only beginning. The future is yet ahead, and there are many, many positive things coming to Suitland, and we look forward to them as we all work together as a team. So thank you.
Next, I'd like to welcome Mr. Stephen Paul. He is the Associate Director of the Redevelopment Authority of Prince George's County. Under Mr. Paul's leadership, the RDA has been a driving force behind the county's government implementation of this public-private partnership. Mr. Paul and his team have supported this project from the very beginning, and with their working with some of the most tremendous local businesses to make it a reality. You all please help me welcome Mr. Stephen Paul.
Good morning. I started working on this redevelopment project as the project manager when I first arrived at the Redevelopment Authority 13 years ago. But even before that, in the late 1990s, working in the Curry administration as development manager, I was involved in the planning. So I've literally been working on this for 20 years. A project of this magnitude, $500 million total development cost so far, is like building a mini city. And to do that, you need a large team of dedicated people working. The team concept is what's driving this project's success. So as the project manager, working with this team every day, I want to take my time up here to publicly thank the key players who are making all this happen for us. First is County Executive Baker, who along with his Deputy Chief Administrative Officer, Tom Himmler, has supported us every step of the way. They've provided the mandate and the funding, and without that, there would be no project. Our county partner, the Revenue Authority of Prince George's County, is led by Peter Shapiro, Donnie James, both here today, is acquiring additional properties and will be in charge of the development of those properties in the future phases. Thank you, Peter. Our Department of Public Works and Transportation with Director Daryl Mobley and Associate Director Kate Mazer is helping us through the design process and the permit process. Our Department of Permitting, Inspections, and Enforcement has been vital in assisting us with the permit process. Thank you, Director Hytham Hijazi, and Associate Directors Dawit Abraham and Mary Giles. Next, I'll move on to our development managers, partners, and builders. Cobra, Johnson, and Romney is the development manager of the project. They have guided us through all facets of the development, including the plan approval process, design, permitting, procurement, and now the construction. The CJR team has been a great partner, shepherding this massive complex and doing an all-around great job for us. I want to thank their principals, Harold Johnson, Norman Romney, and our Mistress of Ceremonies, Nicole Cooper. Our townhouse builder is MVR. They'll be building 219 high-end townhomes under the Orion Homes brand. Brian Afnan, Peter Pomponio, and Lisa McCulley are all here from MVR. They're doing a great job, and they've been great to work with so far. Our senior housing builder is a team led by Mission First Housing Group and joined by L.A. Bolden Company and the Henson Development Company. They will be building a state-of-the-art 137-unit senior building, which will break ground in 2018. Sarah Constant from Mission First, Lisa Bolden, and Dan Henson have all been great to work with. We also have a large contingent on our development team working daily on the project. Our land planner is Lasar Design, who helped come up with the design for the project, and it was a design that everyone liked from the start, including the approving agencies. Very unusual. Thanks to Steve Gang for that. Our zoning attorney is Arthur Horn of Shipley and Horn. Arthur, as usual, is doing a great job for us on the legal complexities. Our landscape architect, Parker Rodriguez, has designed a finished product that will make this a signature development with parks, upscale landscaping, lighting, walking trails, and outdoor fitness areas. Dennis Carmichael is the lead for Parker Rodriguez. I want to thank Ben Dyer Associates, our civil engineer, who guided us through the plan approval process. Steve Marsberg and Barry Kaysen, both here from Ben Dyer. Thank you very much. Next, we have our design civil engineer, A. Morton Thomas, who's designing the infrastructure that we're starting to build today. Their team is led by Max Cantor, Aaron Smith, and Phil Rhodes. O.R. George is our traffic engineer, led by Osborne George. And our infrastructure construction manager is K Group International, led by Carlos Ibarran and Joel Cruz. And finally, we have our site contractors. Pleasance Construction is doing the site demolition and rough grading. They're led by Eric Newquist and John Klein, and we're pleased to have Don Pleasance with us today as well. And I'm just about to wrap up, but I want to make one final note. I'm pleased to report that 59% of the contract dollars awarded to date for this project have been Prince George's County companies. We do have the talented firms necessary to complete a job of this magnitude. All right, I know that was a long list of team members, but that's what it takes to succeed. These companies and individuals are working hard every day, and I thought it was important to publicly recognize them. Thanks. Thank you for bearing with me.
Thank you, Steve. All right, just one moment here. Next up, we have our next speaker is Monty Cooper, who is the chair of the Board of Directors for the Redevelopment Authority for Prince George's County. As an experienced lawyer, Mr. Cooper brings his legal expertise to the RDA board as he helps to identify development partners and projects that will benefit the county and community, such as Town Square at Suitland Federal Center. And Mr. Cooper is also a partner of Crowell Mooring, in Washington, D.C. Please help me to welcome Mr. Monty Cooper.
Well, thank you very much, and today is a wonderful day indeed. Is that my microphone? Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Well, today is a wonderful day, as I mentioned. It's a great sound. It cranes and loud noises. First, I want to introduce our RDA board members, who I see some in the room. Ronette Earl, who I recognize in the back. Dr. Glenda Hodges, the great. Vice Chair David Harrington, I don't know if David is here, and Irma Bering, I don't know if she's here as well, and Irma's here? There she is. And John Tabori. Those are our other board members on the board of directors. Our executive director, Howard Ways, is out of town on business and regrets not being able to be here. I wish he could be here because so much of what we do at the Redevelopment Authority is work through with Howard and with Steve and that great team. And so, unfortunately, he cannot be here. I won't be long, but I wanted to share with you a few bits of history about the project and make some personal remarks as well. The need for the Redevelopment Authority, or the need for the redevelopment of Suitland, was the driving force behind the creation of the Redevelopment Authority, or RDA, 20 years ago. The RDA has been working on this redevelopment since then. We started acquiring properties in 2000, and to date it has taken over 160 property acquisitions to consolidate the site. The Revenue Authority is continuing to acquire properties to add to this project as we speak. The RDA has demolished 650 units of blighted residential housing. Built in the 1940s, by the year 2000, the property's best days, unfortunately, had been gone. It unfortunately had become unsanitary and unsafe to live in. And interestingly enough, when it was originally built, this area, the project had covenants recorded in it in the land records that forbid African Americans from living here. So this is, without question, important work that we're doing. The RDA is performing the role of master developer, which entails responsibility for the entire development, from plan approval and permitting to construction of the infrastructure, to attracting private sector partners to construct the buildings. This groundbreaking is the start of construction of the new infrastructure needed to support the buildings. Brand new utilities, streets, lighting, walkways, and public parks. The new development will be a vibrant neighborhood, one that is walkable, environmentally friendly, and just a great place to live. It will include 895 residential units, 98,000 square feet of new retail, and a 50,000 square foot performing arts center. The buildings will be LEED certified, and the entire development will be certified as a sustainable site. It will be, as you can imagine, a fantastic development, and we are so proud of it. I smile when I say all this because the people of Suitland, in fact, the people of Prince George's County, frankly, of which I'm a resident, we deserve this kind of development. This is our time, as Mr. Baker would say, for greatness. This is our time. Also, as I say this in closing, I smile because of two past experiences that come to mind as I was preparing these remarks. First, when I was first nominated to chair the board of directors, I had to speak to a number of people, county council members, Ms. Tolles, I'm looking at you, and those affiliated with the council, a number of folks. Two questions almost always came up. First, what is the Redevelopment Authority and what do you do? That was my first question. The second question was always, what are you going to do about Suitland? And I remember being, in fact, I'm looking at Tolles, I'm a litigator for a living. Tolles drilled me like I was in a deposition, talking about Suitland. Yeah, I picked up some pointers with Councilwoman Tolles, but it's a good thing because she cares so much about the community. But anyway, it's nice to be able to say that this is what we're doing about Suitland. Finally, 20 years or so ago, I was in college. I went to Georgetown University in D.C., and I met a girl there from Suitland who eventually became the wife of one of my best friends there. But she was always so proud to say she was from Prince George's County. In fact, she said PG County, so she could get away with that. And in particular, she was from a great community called Suitland. And she went to Suitland High. She was so proud of it. I mean, every time she talked, it was kind of like Bill Clinton. You hear the stories about Clinton when he was in college. He'd say he was from Arkansas. This lady would always say she was from Suitland. And she was so proud. And at the time, I had heard a lot about Prince George's County and the forward-thinking leadership of Wayne Curry in particular. And so as I began to think about my future, I thought, well, maybe I might just cast my lot out here as well. There seemed to be a lot of great things going on. And I remember once telling her that, and I won't forget it. She said in her best promotional way, she said that if you wanted to get to know Prince George's County, I needed to get to know Suitland because that's where its heart is. That's what she told me. Of course, as you all know, if you strengthen the heart, the body can do great things. And we're going to get this project done right. And when we do, we will take this county to its next level of greatness. I'm looking forward to the work ahead. I know our board is as well. And with that, I thank all of you for being here.
We have two wonderful additions to the program, so I appreciate your indulgence. First, we have Mr. Peter Shapiro. Peter, if you can come forward. He is the executive director of the Revenue Authority. Mr. Shapiro.
Thank you. I'll be very brief. I just wanted to reiterate what a number of my colleagues and friends and allies have said about the importance of this project and how long it's been coming. When acquisition was first starting in 2000, I was actually a council member, and I can't even tell you how much effort and energy there was at that time, and to see this come to fruition in this way is just a blessing. One of the things that's so exciting about this is that this is a vision that builds off the desires and needs of the community as well as the leadership of the county. It really will be a thing of beauty. The Revenue Authority will have invested $32 million in acquisition. and working in close partnership with the Redevelopment Authority. We're going to do everything we can to make this happen and to make the project happen right. So I want to thank the county executive for his vision, the council member for her tireless effort, for her drilling of Monty, and to all of you for your patience, for your perseverance, and for your commitment to bettering the county. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Shapiro. And I have to say, his point about vision is so important to having anything manifest for us. The alternate title for today was Believe It, Then See It. And I think that is such an important point to remember when bringing a project of this magnitude together. So thank you again, Peter. Next, we have Mr. Daryl Mobley, the Director of Public Works and Transportation. Daryl?
I will be very brief as I am not on the program. I want to thank Harold and the team for inviting DPW&T to say a few words. But I just want to simply say thank you to my boss, the county executive, for his vision and his leadership for this wonderful project here. And then my direct supervisor, Mr. Barry Stanton, the DCAO for infrastructure, for his support and guidance throughout this project. Our role in this project has been to work with all the other sister agencies within Prince George's County to make sure that we deliver this project and bring it to fruition. And someone pointed out to me that we've been involved in this on our end since February, and we've been meeting every Monday morning at 9 o'clock to make sure that we are here today to celebrate this wonderful occasion. And the question was asked of me, do we still have to meet Monday morning? Yes, we do. Because my boss wants to see buildings out here. So we will be meeting until this project is complete. So I just want to say thank you very much, and we're going to keep on working.
We are honored to be joined today by Delegate Dr. Darrell Barnes, who represents Maryland's 25th District. Delegate Dr. Barnes has been a member of the House of Delegates since 2015, and he currently serves as the Deputy Majority Whip and a member of several committees and subcommittees. However, he has been serving his community as a citizen for much longer. In 2013, he was awarded the Community Service Award from the Office of Prince George's County Executive. He too recognizes the vision and potential of the town square, and his continued support has been a boon to the project. Please help me welcome Delegate Dr. Darrell Barnes.
Good morning. You know, as I was sitting back, I know some wondered, how did Delegate Barnes get to speak before Senator Curry and Chairman Davis?
I'm asking her.
Well, let me just say that, you know, I pulled the short stick, so I won. So that clarifies that. But let me just say that I am very excited on behalf of District 25 and the leadership that this is a good day not only for Suitland and Prince George's County, but this is a great day for the state of Maryland. Because as we look around and we see the development that is taking place, I want to just give kudos where it's due. And I know we heard a lot about collaborating and the collaborative team that was built, but I want to give strong emphasis to Councilwoman Karen Tolles, and I think she deserves a round of applause. You know, 5 years ago, before I ran for the House of Delegates, I sat down with Councilwoman Tolles, and I said, hey, I have some ideas about what I want to do, and I want to bring a amphitheater to Prince George's County. And she said politely, just hold up. I'm working on some things that I want to do something special for my people right here in Suitland. And if you look at the renderings on the side here, you can see the hard work and effort that she put into it to make sure that today was a special day not only for Suitland, but for Prince George's County. This is what I believe that our county executive has reiterated, that we are in the midst of an economic boom right here in Prince George's County. And as Councilman Davis would say, he wants to see cranes all over the county. And this is a great day right here in Suitland, and I thank you guys so much.
Now, this next speaker has a very special place in my heart, as well as I'm sure everyone in this room. We are honored to be joined by the Prince George's County Council member, Karen Tolles. To mark the official construction. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Councilmember Tolles has been representing District 7 since 2010, and she serves on several committees. A Prince George's County native and a student of Prince George's County Public Schools, Councilmember Tolles has a unique perspective on the development of this community, and as such, she has been instrumental in the process of bringing together the community leaders to make this project a priority, and she has never stopped advocating for the town square until it was approved. Please welcome Councilmember Tolles.
Thank you. Mel Franklin, come on and sit up here. I gotta call my colleague out. Wow, this is huge for the Suitland community. Let's start with a round of applause. So I've been tweeting last night. County executive retweeted some of the county agencies. I feel fall-tastic. Right. This is fall-tastic, isn't it? All right. They didn't teach you that word. They didn't teach you that word in public schools. I just made that up. But I have a degree, so I can do that. And guess what else? I prayed for the weather gods. It was freezing the past couple days, right? Ladies, you didn't need to pull out your furs because the God gave us great weather. Great weather. For a fantastic occasion. We're having fun up here. This is fun. This is fun. This has been 20 years in the making. And this project does not happen. A major project like this does not happen overnight. And in Prince George's County with term limits, Mr. Baker, you and I both know, we came in together, over here in this community, working together. It does not happen oftentimes in 8 years. But guess what? It took a village to bring this project. It took a village, you know how they say a village to raise kids? It takes a village to raise a redevelopment project, and we did it. And that is an applause line. We did it. But before, this is going to be a day of thank yous. But first, I want to thank one person, Almighty God, because it was only God that directed my path and my steps to where I am. And one of my favorite quotes, I actually look at this while I'm studying 5, 7, 8 days a week, if that's even possible. Many of you all know for law school is that it's ongoing. But Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the path I have for you, declares the Lord, the plans to prosper you and give you a hope and a future. Amen. Mr. Baker, I don't believe either one of us had any idea we were going to be elected. Now, this is my friend, he tell you, he ran 3 times, right? Yes, I did. How did we know we were going to be elected at this time, at this moment, and at this place? But look how the Lord works. He knew the plans that this community needed. He knew the path that we were on. This community, for the first time, had 2, I'm going to say we're pretty outstanding leaders. We are. That's right. 2 decision makers who were passionately connected to this community one way or the other. This county elected a Suitland native, myself, who purchased a home I grew up as a child, and I'm just completely blessed. Many young people don't have an opportunity to do what I had the chance to do. purchased a property in Suitland from my parents who had other properties, but I don't know why I chose Suitland, but I live in Suitland. We're at the home I was raised in. So I know Mr. Himmler joked, you can't tell me about my neighborhood. I know. Right. I live here. I was raised here. Mr. Baker, for 3 of his kids, I don't know if there's 12, they kind of overlap, I don't know their ages and all of that, but for a very long time, he drove up and down this community, taking his 3 children to Suitland High School. God knew the plans that this community needed. How would we know that you would have a leader elected from this community and a county executive connected to this community? Which is why we were relentless. Relentless. Maybe a little bit more than me. Spent the last 7 years fighting. I did a little bit of screaming sometimes, Mr. Himmler. I'm sorry. He laughs. He loves me. I'm his favorite. Sorry, colleagues. I will not tell you the stories that we had to endure to move this project forward, but we are here today. Amen. Amen. I had to use every negotiating tactic in the book. My colleagues know it's the legislative branch and it's the executive branch, and we all work together to move this county forward because we love this county. I said no to a lot of things. And thank you, Darryl Barnes. I said no to a lot of things, but I also said yes to a lot to move this community forward. And Monty, I'm laughing when he said I was drilling him. Monty and I knew each other before we got in, so he was like, that's just Karen. But I appreciate, thank you so much for your recognition. Let's give him a round of applause. Monty led the effort along with I had 3 women, Dr. Glenda Hodges, Irma Baring, and my late friend who I personally appointed to the board, who, and I don't want to cry, but it was a very sudden death at a very young age, was on the Redevelopment Authority board, Miss Leslie Friend. And yes. And I remember her, I was like, girl, you better get in there, you better fight, it's gonna be some problems, y'all better gang up on Monty, I don't care, you better get this thing moving. But these 3 fantastic women did. And I also want to recognize the Suitland Review Committee. They were not recognized. Many projects had to come through the Suitland Review Committee. And I see Davion Percy here. I don't know who else is here. Shirley Lathan. I see the yellow. Raise your hand. The DuPont Village community. The Suitland Civic Association community. But I want to say this. You all stood with me. We stood together. But I go back to 20 years. He is no longer here, but the late, better than great, Wayne K. Curry was the first one that tore down the blight in this community and said, not on his watch, as county executive, these buildings had to go. And so I know he is looking down right now, very proud of where we come today. I want to, before I go down my list, I'm almost done, Nicole. I want to thank my staff, because I got to start with them, my staff and former staff who are here, Plachette, Monica, Dwayne, Mingo, and Davion Percy, who I mentioned. I want to personally say I think Dwayne and Davion took the blunt of most of my cries in the trenches with this project. So thank you both for, moving it forward. My colleagues on the county council, Andrea Harrison, Mel Franklin, I'm going to stay with them for a moment. Andrea Harrison was chair. And what we did was we put a tax increment financing in place. And it wasn't very popular at first. It was a tool that we, in collaboration with County Executive Baker, used to be able to put money aside and to have a process in place so that they can purchase as many properties as possible. We took every tool in the book, and guess what? I won't tell you how we put that TIF together, because it's a story behind that, because we're legislators, but we made it happen. Andrea was here at the time. Mr. Franklin, I was chair PSFM, he was my vice chair. We moved that thing like nobody business. Thank you both. Can you stand up and give yourselves a round of applause? Mr. Franklin, Ms. Harrison. We made some things happen because I can't do anything by myself. And I want to also thank Danielle Galeros because when I first came on the council, her former boss, Eric Olson, was my colleague on the council. But I remember when I first walked through the halls, I didn't know where I was going, trying to find a bathroom. I think I ran into Danielle, who was the chief of staff, and she says, anything I can do to help you with Suitland. I know that's a project that's been going on in Prince George's County. Anything I can do to help you. And I mean, we worked together on food trucks and a number of projects to move the Suitland community forward. Danielle Galeros, our vice chair, thank you so much for your hard work. Can you please stand? Last but certainly not least, I want to take an opportunity. Darryl Barnes talked about partnerships. So I want to thank Senator Curry. I joked with him. I said, aren't you glad you supported me 8 years ago? Look what we done. He said he thinks so, but no, he says yes. It comes and goes. Sometimes he is, sometimes no. He's always proud. He gave me a scholarship to college. I was a page in the Maryland General Assembly. He was one of the, and I had no idea. I'm telling you, God knows the plans he had for me. It is not my plan, it's his plan. Senator Curry was one of my first supporters and been there for me well along. Thank you so much for believing in me, because I'm only here because of God. So thank you so much. Melanie Griffith, I don't know if she's here, and I see my good friend Derek E. Davis, who's the chairman of Economic Matters. Melanie Griffith and Derek Davis serve as leaders in the state of Maryland. We talk about partnerships. Not every county has someone chairing a budget committee or in leadership. Derek E. Davis and Melanie Griffith are my go-to people in Annapolis. Before Darryl Barnes got there, okay? I still love you, Darryl. You know that. But I got you. Darryl, me and Darryl are the street team for the whole District 25. We the street team. But before you got there, when I first got in office, these are two individuals that I relied on to make sure that we are able to bring as many resources back from the state of Maryland, because it's a partnership. Melanie Griffith had brought me $500,000 back. She gave it to Tom Himmler. She didn't give it to me. But I said, I don't care. Tom has the money. He's the money man in this county. He gonna find us. He gonna find a way to use that money. Derek E. Davis, the same way. Bring resources back. Thank you both. Let's give them a round of applause. Our dynamic state leaders. And in closing, I did mention. I do want to mention Tom Himmler, because we worked very closely together on this project. Very closely together. And oftentimes, I used to go like a kid, I go run and tell, Mr. Baker, did you know what Tom told me? No, I can't do this. What is he talking about? And it was a family affair, and I'm truly feeling fantastic right now, because I didn't think we would get to this point. Thomas, that's what his boss calls him, Thomas Himmler, thank you so very much for your relentless effort as well. Thank you so much. I also want to thank Harold Johnson of Cobra Johnson Romney, the development manager responsible for delivering the project. They have taken this highly complex project, a time-sensitive project, and moved it forward. When it was stuck for years, it was stuck because Mr. Baker and I wasn't here yet. And it's our day. I'm sorry, y'all. In the communities, we are so happy. You don't know. Forgive me. Bear with me, okay? I apologize. Actually, I'm not sorry. I'm just fantastic right now. But they know firsthand the promises that were made to the community. So I want to thank you both very much, and I appreciate you for you moving forward, especially Harold. Lord have mercy. He called me every 5 minutes about something. But we thank you. It got done. But that's what partnership does. To the community. To my beloved Suitland community, I can tell them, they would come and tell me, what are you going to do about getting Suitland moving forward? I said, I live here too. I care too. I want to be able to buy a cup of coffee, buy a bagel or something, shop in this community. We're not talking about buzz. Y'all see how they act? They talking about stuff they got nothing to do. Y'all see? I'm going to get y'all later when people not around. But thank you to the Suitland community. all the leaders in the community. Donna Edwards had her office over here. Thank you, Congresswoman Edwards, who had her office over here when she was a congresswoman. The Suitland community, we stood together. If you live in Suitland, stand up and be proud right now for the work that we done. Karen Anderson, Suitland Civic Association, y'all better stand up, stretch your feet. This is a day that we're all proud of. That's right, I see Leslie back there, fist bumping. Now, our time is now. The work continues. Thank you so much. Give him a round of applause. I mean, we're
running together.
Yes, we did this together. I love him.
All right. Passion, passion, passion. All right, girl. All right. Well, before I get to our final beloved speaker, we have been joined by Prince George's County Regional Director from Chris Van Hollen's office, Pokua Owusa Achu. All right. Thank you. I apologize for butchering that. All right, but last but not least, finally, we are joined by the man whose vision today has been realized. Prince George's County Executive Rushern Baker is here today to commemorate the beginning of a revitalization of not only Suitland and the county. County Executive Baker has been serving Prince George's as county executive since 2010. And he has also contributed to key task forces in the region. In addition, he is a former member of the Maryland House of Delegates. He saw unmatched potential in Suitland and Prince George's County and has persevered toward making the town square a reality for years. Please welcome my HU alum.
You know.
All right, Mr. Rushern Baker.
Thank you. Congratulations. Can we give Nicole and Harold a round of applause for the work that they're doing? Please, Nicole, great job. I don't know how I follow that. I think it's appropriate that Karen got a chance to speak, and she's right. I mean, we didn't know that our paths would cross. That is God's work. And us coming together in this community. But I want to thank her for her hard work, for her dedication to the Suitland community and to Prince George's County, as only a native could love a place. Can we give her another round of applause? And I do want to steal a line of hers. Can we have the Suitland community stand up again and give yourselves a round of applause for persevering, for holding our feet to the fire, because y'all did that. I also want to, it's going to be a round of thank yous also for me. This is a big deal. Now, I can't say it the way I want to say it because, everybody said, I was their boss, but I got a boss. Ms. Glenda Wilson, and she won't let me say it the way I want to say it. I was going to come in with Jay-Z. She said, nah, don't do that either. That's right. And we were going to do encore. Anyway, but I do want to thank Senator Curry for his steadfast support of this community and really being a forward thinker. Can we give him a round of applause, please? Certainly the people who have come together who work for the county, and they don't work for me. Like I said, I work for Glenda Wilson. So, they don't work for me. They work for the people of Prince George's County. I don't pay them. I don't have enough money to pay them. We work together, and they've done a great job. If I can, as I call them out, get them to stand up. Peter Shapiro, Darryl Mobley, Steve Paul, and Eric Brown, Monty. Can we give them a round of applause? Certainly want to thank them. We wouldn't be here today without their hard work. Thank you. You can sit down now. That worked pretty well. I can't help but think, quite honestly, as I was listening to Karen, how we got to be here today. What is the Redevelopment Authority? What is the Revenue Authority? And as she was speaking, I was thinking, how did they come about in Prince George's County? And they came about under a man who, like Karen, loved this place more than anybody I've ever seen love a place. A love that I quite honestly don't get, because I grew up in the military and you move every 2 years. So how well could you love and invest a place when you're there for 2 minutes? But he loved it. And he talked about it like it was no other place in the world. It was Wayne Curry who actually put the Revenue Authority together and the Redevelopment Authority. It was Wayne Curry who put what we did yesterday in the Arts District, Peter Shapiro. Now, as I said yesterday, Wayne ain't a touchy-feely kind of guy. So you put some art in there, I was like, okay, I don't know how that's going to work. But he understood redevelopment, he understood his community. It was Wayne Curry that invested in Suitland for the first time when people said, have you lost your mind? Clearly you must have bumped your head, Wayne, because why would you go to Suitland when you can go to other places that are much easier to invest in? Why would you do it there? There's so many obstacles to overcome. Because he understood the opportunities that were waiting in this vibrant, great community. He understood, as only he could understand, that if you think you can redevelop U Street and H Street when the Green Line is being torn up and when you have to anchor a government facility, then my God, you could do Suitland when you have a federal center here, you have the Green Line, you have these beautiful homes, you're a stone's throw away from the District of Columbia. He understood opportunity. And I had enough sense to follow that lead. I had enough sense to put it in a commercial where we stood right over there and talked about this community. As Karen said, I got a chance to know Suitland. I didn't really think I'd get a chance to know Suitland. I moved to Cheverly. So getting on this part of the town, unless I was lost, was something I never thought. But then my then my firstborn, who I love more than life itself, decided he was going to go to Suitland High School.
Rush's over there.
There's my baby right there. Now those who know me know I am a nervous father. I'm especially nervous with black boys. So even though he was going to high school, his daddy followed him and visited him often right there at Suitland High School. And I probably should pause right here and thank the community, the Suitland community. Because while we live in Cheverly, my children grew up here. Their friends are from here. They came to parties here in this community. I followed them to parties here in this community. Because his sisters actually listened to him and not his dad, they all came here. And it was that coming here, as Karen said, that made me look around this community and understand how great it is. Finally, before I sit down, there are a couple of people I want to thank. Actually, there's one left. Karen mentioned him. Now, I'm really good at saying, I want it done. I don't care how you do it. I'm really good at that. It's opportunity here. We can see it. It's great. Make it happen. I can't tell you how to make it happen. I don't care how you do it. I want it done. And I want it done yesterday. And for these last 7 years, this individual has not only had to deal with Karen DeHost, but he's had to deal with me. And anytime I talk about Suitland to this individual, I do not call him Tom.
He said he's Joe.
I call him Thomas. And I say, Thomas, when am I going to get a groundbreaking at Suitland? Thomas, when are we going to get this done? He say, well, sir, I said, Thomas, I'm leaving office soon. I will be over there. I want you to meet me. And in the time that I've known him, he has never disappointed me. More importantly, he's never disappointed this county or this state. Can we give Thomas Himmler a round of applause? In fact, when we leave here, we will go and we have food trucks there at Hunter Memorial, where we signed as a council and as a group, the council were there, where we signed our economic development fund that has started growth so much in Prince George's County. And finally, there's another person I'd like to thank who's not here, but is dedicated to this as much as I am and has been a part of this journey as much as I have and probably even more. As my children know, and you ask my son, he'll tell you, I don't make no decisions at work, and I definitely don't make no decisions at home. It is my wife who decided that our children would go to Suitland away from our family. It is my wife who decided that we would invest in the community because the community had invested in us. And it is my wife who, when I took over this job, when she couldn't sleep at night, I would drive her to places that she talked about when she could talk. And I couldn't help but thinking as I was riding over here today as we passed Nova Avenue, how one night I stopped there in one of these sleepless nights about 2 in the morning, which is kind of scary. And she pointed and she said, I said, honey, we're gonna tear down these buildings. And all she could say was, ooh, you need to do that quickly. That pretty much was it. And what that did and what I understood then was, time is not on our side. That people's lives are affected by each second, whether it's education, whether it's healthcare, whether it's quality of life, whether it's living conditions. Time is the enemy. Especially if you're in a position where you're not in that community or in that situation. The lesson that she gave me that day stuck with me throughout my time here as county executive. It is why we're here today. It is why we push. God bless you and thank you for being here.
I want you to remain standing. I want you to remain standing. You all recently, we're making a small change to the program because this is something that not only should be recognized by this community, but the project itself is being recognized nationally. So actually, Harold W. Johnson II, I'd like you to come up and present you and the RDA for a special commendation that you all have received.
So, County Executive, this project was actually awarded before anything is built and has been recognized by the American Society of Landscape Architects with a commendation to the Redevelopment Authority of Prince George's County for planning and analysis of Town Square at Suitland Federal Center. Congratulations. All right, so
Miguel, shovels in the dirt and faces up towards me, please. Everybody right here, please. We're gonna hold those closed, please. 1, 2. No dirt yet, guys. 1, 3. Everyone, look this way for me, please. Faces up towards me. 1, 2, and 3. Now let's turn some dirt, guys. Now, center.
Where we throwing it?
Karen. All right, go right in front. Try not to go. Disrespect the people. Hit my car. All right, guys. This is a dirt toss on 3. 1, 2, and 3.
With that, the town square at Suitland